Hello everyone, in this video let us understand how to create a new content type in Drupal. In Drupal there is a concept of content type, which is nothing but different types of content that you want to manage on your Drupal site. So your content could be a page, your content could be a blog, your content could be an event, it could be a product. And the good thing about Drupal is that you can always create your own content type based on your needs. And the reason you want to create your own content type is mainly because you want to manage it separately. Maybe you want to have a separate set of fields for that particular type of content. Maybe you want to manage it maybe in a different view. We understood in the previous video, not in the previous video, but in one of the previous videos, we also created a view where we presented some information related to the recent content. But maybe when you have your own content, you want to display it separately, maybe in its own view. So there are different use cases, but in this particular video, let us understand how we can create our very own content type. So if you look at this site, this is the site where we are trying to basically build something. We are trying to build a blog, and we want to basically define a content type called blog. So if you click on the content option on top, you can of course take a look at different content that you have been adding and saving on your Drupal website. And when you click on the add content button, you are presented with two options. You have the option to create a new article, and you also have the option to create a new basic page. But what about a blog? So to create a new blog type of content type, you need to go to structure. And when you go to structure, you can click on this option here called content types. So if you click on it, you can take a look at all the content types that you have already on your Drupal website. But we want to create our own content type. So let us click on the button add content type. And I may want to name it as blog. Simple. I want to keep it obvious for anyone who is managing the website that blog is managed by blog content type. You can also add a description, which is always a good practice, so that this is easier for anyone who is probably trying to add a new content. This description will basically help them in understanding the purpose of this content type. Right now it is obvious, but it may not be obvious all the time. So you can add some description like this is for blog. And you have some other options like submission form title. Right now it is title, but it can be anything else. It can be title name, and you can also define some publishing options. So maybe you want this. So whenever you add a new blog on your Drupal website using this content type, do you want to by default promote it on the front page? Do you want to by default publish it? And do you also want to create a new revision always? So you can leave them checked if you want, or you can just uncheck them. It is totally up to you. If you want to create some kind of a website where you want to have some approvals, maybe you want to uncheck it, and you want maybe someone to first take a look at this blog before you can publish it. So this is something quite useful. And you also have some display settings. So whenever you add a new blog, maybe you also want to display the username of the person who is writing the blog on the content when it is viewed by the end user, along with the published date. So I will leave it as it is. Then you also have the option to add this particular content in one of your navigation items. So this is something that I don't want to do. I want to uncheck it. I don't really want blogs to be added to my navigation. So I'll just uncheck it, and let us save and manage fields. Let us click on this particular button. So after adding this content type, now you have the option to add some fields. And by default we just have one field, body, but we can also have more fields. So in a typical blog you usually have keywords or tags. So basically we will add more fields later on in this particular blog type of content. Right now I just want to quickly create a new content and I want to see how my blog looks like. So if you now click on the add content button, you will get this new option where you have this option to also take a look at the description that we added when we were defining this content type. And then you can click on the blog link and you can then add, of course, your blog. So the way you add your blog is something similar to your page. And let us add our blog. This is my first blog. And you may want to add the body, which is of course the field where you can have some content, actual content of your blog. So this is, I'll probably write something very quickly. This is my blog. Just to show you, I'm doing it very, very quickly. And you can leave rest of the things as it is. But if you quickly take a look at your promotion options, you can see here that this blog will be promoted to front by default, but you have the option to uncheck it. So let us save it, and this blog will be, of course, saved. But if you go to your home page, you will see this blog published on your home page, your front page. So we still have to figure out how to add more fields in our blog and how to do few more configurations before this blog is useful for us. So I hope this video was useful, and I hope you learned something new. Thank you very much.